As I have travelled from place to place, from country to country, it has seemed to me that the great need of the nations is education of a new type, an education which will teach us how to live in the right spirit. What will make the world new is education, not politics. With this in view, Little Lamps, a play and learn school, is being started to inculcate among the minds and hearts of little children love for the higher ideal, the ideal of purity and peace, patience and prayer, humility and the spirit of helpfulness. Education gives the man certain spiritual qualities which make him calm in adversity, happy when alone, and just in his dealings with his fellow men. The journey is long. We must begin now.
The ideals of Little Lamps is to inspire future generation by training the head, the heart and the hands, by instilling moral and human values, strengthening communication skills, building character and integrity, and also developing self-esteem and boosting confidence.
At our home, Dadaji called the meeting of the members. He said, "You people are not utilizing the center properly." Because this was a big hall which we used to rent out sometimes, not very frequently. He said, "You are wasting so much space."
Dada told us what you had done. You got such a big building and a beautiful building. What you have done? You are not using it properly.
Do something concrete. Educate the children.
He asked us, which he has never done before. He's asked us for something. He said, "I want a play and learn preschool." And some of us explained the challenges to Dada. We said, "Dada, this is going to be very challenging for London. There's Ofsted and there's enough schools around here. Within Cricklewood, there's actually 8 other nurseries. We would have to squeeze in and be the 9th one." So Dada said, "Okay, if you can't do it." And that was the point where we thought, no, if our Guruji wants it, we'll give it to him. And there began our journey. We prepared some plans. We got an architect to do some designs. First, there was about 3 different designs, very different designs from what we see here. I went in June with Gitanjali to India. Dada looked at them and he offered us another way. He said, "Why not utilize your main hall?" When we came back from India, we started looking around for other designs, and in the process, our chairman, Uncle Dasi Budrani, said, "Look, we need to get architects who have built schools and been involved with the education system." So we started looking around, we started tendering.
It's values like truth, compassion and purity which would be sown into the minds of these little children.
It's not money-based, it's value-based. He said the future, the generations that are going to come are going to become good human beings. We may see it or not, we don't know, but he said start the footing right now.
I think the vision was always a very interesting one from the start. Although we went through many concepts and many different iterations of what we could do with the site, the vision, I think, was always a very exciting one, and that was, I think, a privilege to work on.
Now in September, I went back to give a report to Dada. So we were sitting together and Sister Christian said, "Look, your marketing is not working." When we came back, we set up a subcommittee. We set up the brand ambassadors. Basically, they became bores because everyone they met, they just told them about a nursery coming. And how many kids have you got that you can enroll?
Based on the early years curriculum, at the same time, something more added to it. And what we were adding was just not the basic read, write, maths. We wanted this to be a value-based nursery.
The finances were looking healthy from the scenario analysis carried out. And before I knew it, I'd embarked on a non-stop flight with Captain Deepu and all systems were go.
I interviewed few architects and one of our architect was appointed. He prepared some drawings and a very nice model. And Deepu said that I should take that one to Dada for approval and his blessings. So he took that to Pune.
I think when we were looking at inspiration for how to start this project, I think even before we were selected as part of the competition, but when we were first brought on board for concepts, and I think this is really something that carried us all the way through to the end of the project. It would be lying, frankly, to say that Dada didn't have a profound impact on how we were thinking about what to deliver on this site.
I was given the responsibility of approaching our many benefactors for the funds to finance this major project. We needed to find different ways in which to raise money, but the most important consideration was that we must get our entire community involved in this most worthwhile project. In order to achieve this, we held several fundraising programs. There was a Mehfil night, a quiz night, a walkathon. All these events were very well attended and we were able to raise a good amount of money.
I've also been involved in carrying out the vetting process for all the governors, the directors, the employees and volunteers and the subcommittee members. And this includes things like DBS criminal checks on everyone, which thankfully was all clear, as expected.
In the start, there were some drawbacks.
Although we followed the auditable, robust process to find the right contractor, we completed the process, we awarded the contract, but when the contractor was actually about to start the work, he regretted.
We were in a junction where the builder let us down, literally on the following day, and our financial situation was tight. The road was very bleak. Thing of being ready in a few months was like next to impossible. And I remember Deepu speaking to Dada, telling him, Dada, I can't seem to manage and reach your target date, and can we do it in 2018? I'll try it January 2018. And I remember Dada just sticking to his words. He said, September 2017, it has to be open. And he just repeated it 3 times, September 2017, September 2017.
There's one of Swami Chimnayananda's sayings where he says, faith is to believe what you do not see, the reward of which is you see what you believed.
And then Ramji came with the idea, with another contractor.
When we started doing our initial research, we found out there are so many nurseries around and that we were looking for great competition from them. So we had to make sure that we really are state of the art. And as you can see from the infrastructure, the building that the team has come up with, we've really come a long way.
For this project of Little Lambs Nursery, I was a single point of contact for Barnet Council as well as Ofsted. At Barnet Council, there are a number of occasions when the guidance and support was required, and getting the required professionals to visit the nursery before, during and after the completion. The team there was very, very helpful. They were very proactive. Recruitment side was also quite challenging because we wanted a person who would understand and follow the ethos of Dada J.P. Vaswani.
In the meantime, we got the builders to start. They started in March, and we wanted something different. So we put a slide in, an indoor slide. We put a climbing ramp. We put a music room. We got an IT area. We put a touch screen, 75-inch LED screen upstairs. We wanted something different, not your run-of-the-mill nursery. We wanted the nursery where kids don't want to leave. And Dada says, if you put the child right, you put the world right. That's what we're trying to do here.
We have done a nursery in past, but this was a very interesting project as it has a unique design. which was very interesting. The interesting part of the design of the nursery was the climbing ramp and the slide, which everyone likes it, and that's a unique design for the nursery.
Both of us were brought on with the view to do the marketing and the technology aspect of it.
Besides the website, I was also involved with the policy documentation. Since we are starting afresh, we had to basically think about everything that the nursery would do, all the laws, all the enforcements. It was pretty much the constitution of our nursery, and we had to make sure that we cover each and every fine detail of all the scenarios that the nursery could encounter.
More often than not, we hear a lot of grand and glamorous plans being discussed around us, pondered over for years, and eventually nothing comes of them. What is truly inspiring here is the way that the subcommittee team have put all heads down together to achieve an almost intangible goal in the 18-month timescale given. It's been a real privilege and an enriching experience to be a part of this humanitarian venture.
You know, along this journey, we had a teacher's training course, and for that we invited Mrs. Geeta Panjabi over from India, an educational consultant, who gave us a 2-day seminar.
He said that my emphasis on education first is on character building, secondly it is on spirit of service, thirdly on reverence for all life. Education, he said, believes is not the filling of a page, not filling of a bucket, but it is the lighting and kindling of a lamp. He said, always remember, first you and then I.
I also helped to coordinate the donation and delivery of Montessori equipment, which was scientifically designed by Dr. Maria Montessori.
I have received lots of compliments from different sources, including one from Ofsted when the inspector visited us. They were very happy.
Our vision, our aim is to see through the other's eyes, through the other's vision, and have a light ignited in little heads and hearts.
Also, being the first nursery or educational institute of Sadhu Vasana mission outside of India, we wanted to make this as a good model for the rest of the world to follow through.
And we had open day where we had 225 people from all the local community and many who were outside the borough. And we also were having a lot of people who were just coming to see the design of the nursery. They have no children, they just wanted to come and see it. And on the day, you know, we are delighted to say we registered 4 kids. And this was even before we had our place ready. We had trained guides who were able to show them around and give them not just the aesthetics side of it, but show how we're going to be giving the values. You know, it is said that there's one way out of poverty, and that is through education.
Social media presence since the open day for the nurseries back in July, it's really exposed us to different areas of the society. So it's not just Indian students that we have Polish students, we have you know, prospective students from different European countries, from within the UK.
Before we opened to the public, Mr. Deepu was so much excited that he wanted to use the slide on the ramp.
Sadhu T.L. Vaswani in 1933, 4th of June 1933, he started his first school in Hyderabad, Sindh. Exactly 84 years and 3 months later to the day, 4th of September, Dada was able to open a school here in North London, and we had the first batch of children then.
Also, when we started this journey, we were getting many doubts from people, all uncertainties, and virtually they were saying it is impossible. And as Dadaji has said, convert impossible into I am possible.
Biggest highlight was seeing the mezzanine floor go in and really understanding how the space was going to start to work. Because as much as we think in 3 dimensions, and as much as we work in 3D programs and sketches and models and all the kinds of things that we use, it still is no substitute for seeing it for the first time.
It has been a long journey, full of obstacles, But unless you have the obstacles, you don't learn to grow. So for me, crossing every little obstacle with his wisdom and guidance has been absolutely the best experience of my life in teaching.
I firmly believe that this is only a small plant we have planted, and this will go as a big tree, and which will bear a lot of fruit and flowers for us in future.